The official language of the Roman Empire was Latin, a foundational element of Western civilization that shaped culture, governance, and communication across Europe and parts of the Mediterranean for centuries. Originating as the tongue of the Latins, a small tribe in the region of Latium around the city of Rome, Latin grew from a local dialect into one of history's most influential languages, spreading alongside Rome's military conquests and administrative expansion. Latin developed into two distinct forms, Classical Latin and Vulgar Latin. Classical Latin, the polished and standardized version, was used in formal settings such as literature, law, oratory, and official inscriptions. This was the language of Rome's intellectual elite and authors like Cicero, Virgil, Livy, and Ovid. It followed strict grammatical rules and stylistic conventions, making it ideal for preserving Rome's literary and cultural achievements. Vulgar Latin, by contrast, was the colloquial, spoken language of the Roman populace. Unlike its refined counterpart, Vulgar Latin was more dynamic, reflecting regional variations and the everyday speech patterns of soldiers, merchants, and common citizens. It was less formal in grammar and syntax, evolving naturally in response to the needs of the people who spoke it. As Rome expanded its borders, Vulgar Latin became the primary mode of communication in the provinces, adapting to local dialects and influencing indigenous languages. The expansion of the Roman Empire played a pivotal role in the spread of Latin. In the western provinces, such as Gaul, modern France, Hispania, modern Spain, and Britannia, modern Britain, Latin became the dominant language. Roman soldiers, merchants, and settlers carried Latin to new territories, where it replaced or coexisted with indigenous tongues. Over time, Latin was institutionalized as the language of governance, legal systems, and commerce, ensuring its widespread use. In the eastern provinces of the empire, where Greek had long been the dominant language, Latin faced a different reality. While Greek remained the lingua franca for intellectual, cultural, and commercial activities, Latin was the official language of administration and military command. This bilingual dynamic created a cultural and linguistic divide between the eastern and western halves of the empire, a distinction that would later contribute to the division of the Roman Empire itself. The fall of the Western Roman Empire in 476 CE marked a turning point, but it did not diminish Latin's influence. In fact, Latin became the cornerstone of medieval Europe's intellectual and religious life. The Roman Catholic Church adopted Latin as its official language, preserving it as the medium of theology, liturgy, and education. Monasteries and religious institutions played a crucial role in maintaining Latin's literary tradition, ensuring its survival during the chaotic centuries that followed Rome's collapse. In the scholarly world, Latin remained the language of academia and diplomacy. It was used to write scientific treatises, legal codes, and historical records, connecting scholars across different regions and time periods. As a result, Latin continued to evolve, becoming what is known as medieval Latin, a practical, adaptable version of the language tailored to the needs of the era. One of Latin's most enduring legacies is its transformation into the Romance languages, Italian, French, Spanish, Portuguese, and Romanian. These languages emerged from Vulgar Latin, shaped by regional pronunciations, grammar, and vocabulary, as well as the influence of local cultures and invading peoples. For instance, the Latin word cantare, to sing, became chanter in French, canta in Spanish and Portuguese, and canta in Romanian. Despite their differences, these languages retain a shared Latin core, making them mutually intelligible to some degree. Even in regions where Latin did not give rise to new languages, it left a significant mark. English, for example, though a Germanic language, borrowed extensively from Latin, particularly through Old French after the Norman conquest in 1066. This influence is evident in the large number of Latin-derived words in English, especially in fields like science, biology, astronomy, law, justice, legislation, and the arts, culture, literature. Beyond its historical role, Latin remains a vital component of modern language, culture, and education. It is still used in the Roman Catholic Church, particularly in traditional liturgies. In academia, Latin forms the foundation of the terminology in fields like medicine, biology, and law. For example, Scientific names for species follow Latin conventions, e.g. Homo sapiens, and legal systems continue to use Latin phrases such as habeas corpus and pro bono. Moreover, Latin structure and vocabulary are integral to understanding modern languages. Its grammatical concepts, such as declensions, conjugations, and cases, serve as a framework for learning other languages, particularly Romance languages. Latin's logical structure also enhances linguistic and analytical skills, making it a popular choice in classical education. Latin was far more than the official language of the Roman Empire, it was a unifying force that connected diverse peoples across vast territories. Its transformation into the Romance languages and its pervasive influence on fields like science, law, and education underscore its unparalleled significance in history. Even today, Latin serves as a bridge to the past and a foundation for the linguistic and intellectual achievements of the modern world. Its story is not just one of survival but of continuous adaptation and enduring relevance.